Thank you so much, Michael. Very much appreciated those words. I would now like to invite Zain Sardar, Saliha's son, to say some words. Zain.
Good evening, everyone. It is a great honour for me, on behalf of the Sardar family, to say a few words in memory of my late mother, who passed away all too soon. I hope I'm able to do justice to someone who in life radiated so much warmth, touched so many here today with her infectious spirit, and who has left this world a profoundly poorer place. I wanted to reflect on some of the characteristic traits, or perhaps virtues, that so endeared my mother to her family, friends, colleagues, as well as those who had the pleasure of meeting her across a whole myriad of different communities, including those closely associated with the Muslim Institute and Critical Muslim. I know she always looked forward to the winter gathering and other occasions in the Muslim Institute calendar, where she was always eager to catch up with old friends, offer a consoling smile, and lend a sympathetic ear. My mother's life, the way that she conducted herself, has a lot to teach us all. What grounded her was a strong sense of personal ethics, a guiding ethical orientation which was second nature to her, embodied in service and devotion to others, and manifested through selflessness, patience, and a strong, overarching sense of justice. She was not a larger-than-life personality who will be remembered for making the big interventions. No, she was life made up of 1,000 small kindnesses. For her, it was the little gestures that carry the power to make an enormous difference in this world. It is the memory of these kindnesses and gestures that will continue to endure beyond her in the lives of others. First and foremost, it is important to say that my mother was a great convener. She excelled in bringing people together, and indeed, she was able to create a community around her wherever she went. It was this ability that led her to dedicate huge amounts of energy and self-sacrifice to ensure the cohesion of the immediate and extended family, acting as its calming and serene centre of gravity. Many of my own formative memories in my youth provide a portrait of her character in this regard. For instance, I fondly recall my mother's loving presence by my side as I attended medical checkups in the aftermath of surgery to correct clubfoot. I remember trips to Pakistan in which my mother alone had to contend with her 3 children and baggage, all while navigating layovers and Pakistan International Airlines. I also vividly remember the tender moments, such as my mother's tears as I left home to start my undergraduate degree in Canterbury. It is very much an understatement to say that the family home could simply not be complete without her. Every time I enter the homestead, I still hear the echo of her voice to this day, asking whether it is me who has come in. Very much reflective of her gregarious persona, she made friends easily from all walks of life, particularly from work and the local community. It is no surprise in that case that she was happiest surrounded by her family and friends or entertaining guests. In those circumstances, many have noted the extra twinkle in her eyes and added octave in her voice. She was an exceedingly selfless individual, and in fact, service to others really defined her life. In her interaction with those around her, her patience and generosity, the hallmarks of her personality, would unwaveringly come to the fore. She had that astonishing ability, in the words of Rumi, to look at the thorn and see the rose, to look at the night and see the dawn. In her professional life, as a teaching assistant, she was strongly committed to caring for the disabled, non-verbal children at the village school, where she quickly established herself as a favourite among staff and students. She held herself to high standards, prided herself in never taking a sick day, and was exceedingly scrupulous in sticking to the rules. She could only be described as a model of integrity, and moreover, it is worth pausing to reflect on what a rare commodity integrity is in current times. More than anything, however, she cherished every moment with her pupils. Fundamentally, it was the people whom she loved so dearly that kept her going back. Consequently, she never really wanted to retire and was planning to continue working even in her final days. Throughout her life, she was a hugely resilient character, and she dealt with the hardships, including the cancer diagnosis itself, with fortitude and stoicism. But the pain she was able to bear herself, she found intolerable in the suffering of other people. She was constantly concerned with those who are decidedly underserved in society. This speaks much of her charitable nature, and in this, she has been inspiration to her children. Our own sense of public service and impulse to advance social progress has been indelibly shaped by my mother's sensibilities, which will also undoubtedly continue to inform our future trajectories. From focusing on my mother's virtues in Arabic, Saliha, I wanted to turn to another definition of Saliha. The word can, of course, refer to a virtuous person, but in a standalone form, it means good deed. As a trustee of a new charity invested in continuing my mother's life work, it is truly satisfying to know that my mother's good deeds of assisting vulnerable young people will persist beyond her life. The Saliha Sardar Trust brings together this community that she built around her in aid of a cause that she gave her working life to, cementing a legacy in support of the type of special needs children who benefited so enormously from her care and generosity. To conclude, my mother's death represents for the family and the communities she was devoted to an irreplaceable loss and void in our lives. We are determined to keep her legacy and generous spirit alive through our own actions. Thank you.